Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. I'm getting ready to do the Project Mystery Box by Sally Tomato and Oprah Roots. I thought, I'm doing it, I might as well film it. It's a new pattern by Sally Tomato called the Morning Post. It's a laptop bag. It looks really cute. I don't particularly like the fabrics they chose and they sent, but you know what? Someone else may love them. So, you know, whatever, that'd be fine. So this is the zipper tape. We have two outside zipper pockets and then a gusset zipper. So this is the zipper tape. So it's actually a very pretty kind of a brown. And then the hardware is 1-inch hardware, 2 D-rings, 2 swivel for the crossbody strap, 1 strap adjuster, and then these are very pretty. I like these zipper pulls, 3 zipper pulls, 1 for the top and one for each side. So that's that. And then they also sent a little handmade, which I'll use. I've never used one of those. I might as well. These are the 2 top pieces. It's a very pretty faux leather, very pretty. So those are the 2 top pieces. The gusset is this faux leather as well for the outside, and then this is the inside, the green. Again, I'm not a huge fan of green, but you know what? It's not bad. I did put woven interfacing on the lining gusset. She doesn't call for that. I did. The 2 outside zipper, there's kind of on each front and back, there's a zipper. This covers that zipper, which I really like. So it's kind of a hidden zipper. So that's those 2 pieces. These are the 2, I said that right, 2 top pieces. This is 2 handle connectors, which I'll sew together and cut in half. This is the lining fabric. Again, she doesn't call for it to be interfaced. I did. So I have 2 of those. And then the outside fabric is this. She also does not call for it to be interfaced. I did. It's just cotton quilting. I have to interface it for a laptop bag. And then there are 2 facings. These are for the zipper, outside zipper pockets. She doesn't call for lining, interfacing those. I did that as well. And then the handles are you know, just I don't know, what do you call it, a strapping. So I have 2 of those for the handles and I have 1 for the crossbody. And then these are the 2 pieces for the pocket linings. I did not interface those. This piece is going to be cut in, it's a bound bag. And my guess is this is not going to be a hardbound bag, but this is what she has you use for the binding. They also sent foam, which is interesting foam. It's not very thick, so I don't know. We'll see. So I have 2 of those for the, I don't know, this is for the gusset. I'm not sure what these 2 pieces are for. I'll have to see. And then obviously 2 big pieces for the front and back. And then she sends you, we're gonna round the edges on all 4 corners, so she sends you a piece for that. There's only 2 pattern pieces for it. So that's it. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I like the pattern itself. It's just the fabric that I'm not particularly enamored with. But you know what? A lot of people, green is their favorite color. So someone else may really like this bag. So I'm gonna make it. I got the box, so I might as well make it and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click the bottom JD in the bottom right and subscribe, like, and feel free and comment. I'll see you in a minute. I've had a lot of requests lately to talk about why my company name is Jeannie's Designs when my name is Barbie. Back in, oh gosh, almost 20 years ago, not quite, almost 20 years ago when I was coming up with the name for my company, I thought about naming it Barbie's Bags, but I thought, you know, people are gonna look for Barbie doll stuff. And I don't carry any Barbie doll stuff. So my mom was always calling me Boo Jean. Jean is my middle name. So I thought, you know, why not use my middle name, Jeannie? So that's where it came from. Nothing fancy, but that's why I named my company Jeannie Bags originally, and now it's called Jeannie's Designs. So thanks for asking. There's not much to it, but that's why. So I appreciate you. So thanks for watching. All right, so the first order of business is to attach your handles, and she gives you the measurements to measure in and then to measure up, and we're just going to sew a large rectangle on the handle that actually connects it to this top piece. So we're going to do that on all 4 pieces. Make sure you're marking this with an air erasing pen, or you're going to have a permanent mark. And just top stitch at 1/8 of an inch. Just make sure they're on there straight. And go up to that mark. Turn, stitch over that mark, and come back down. No, one more. There we go. And I'm using a matching thread. It won't be matching when I get to this, but this is very fraying cording they sent. And I'm just going to go backwards to sew it here. You know, the mystery boxes, I know, are a very hard thing to do and keep at a reasonable cost. But, you know, I don't know about this one. Let's see. I like the pattern. And let's just make sure that's on there straight. And then come across. And back down. Make sure your handle is not twisted. Alright, so that's what you should have. So your handle is attached now. So, and you cannot, I might have to get some fray check out for those because you cannot burn those ends. It's cotton. So on fast forward, I will do this other handle and then we'll come back. All right, so I have attached both my handles, and I did just a rectangle around those, so those are very secure. I think we do some additional stitchings to those, but I'll put those aside for now. And then you take out your bottom, front, and back, and we're attaching that little interfacing, or that, what does she call it? She calls it the pocket facing. So center both pieces. So your big piece center, your big piece, both pieces center, and then also clip this center. And then we're gonna sew just on the inside at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And she does suggest to decrease your stitch length to, you know, a small stitch length, which I changed mine to 2.5. And you know, I don't know if that's a 1/4. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Okay. So just on the inside is where we're gonna stitch. Not doing anything on the outside of it. And then we are going to trim that to an 1/8. Okay, so just trim that. And we're taking off this whole piece, the front and this facing. And then I am going to do the other side and take them both over to the iron and press them. The other thing you need to do is clip into the corners as close as you can get without snipping your stitches. So you need to have a really sharp pair of scissors. So this is what you should have. And we're gonna sew that, press that. All right, so I will do that other one on fast forward, and then I'll press them over at my iron. All right, so I finished what I can so far on my outside pieces, and that actually looks pretty good. You just got to be really careful when you're cutting into these corners. I did do it pretty good, but I didn't cut my threads, so I feel pretty good about that. All right, so set those aside. And now we're going to create our zippers or zipper pockets. I put, oops, Lord, I have to grab that, darn it. I did put a piece of double-sided tape on the top of one of my zipper pockets. And you're going to want to lay your zipper, my lining piece is right side up and my zipper is right side up with the zipper closing to the right. I know it feels weird, but it works in this kind of a pocket. So because this cotton has no interfacing on it whatsoever, to help prevent it from being wavy, I put a piece of double-sided tape there. Let's see how much that helps me. Okay, and then we're going to sew that at the seam allowance in the pattern. I might go just a hair shy of the seam allowance. So. Somebody asked me recently, how do you prevent zippers from fraying? And really, it's just either interfacing your fabric, putting double-sided tape on your zipper to keep it in place, and just going slow. When you go too slow, sometimes your zipper's going to want to get wavy. Okay, so now that's what you have. And now when you turn it over like this, you have the wrong side of the lining and you have the zipper pulled to the left. So I am going to put another piece of double-sided tape here. And I'm just using 1/8 inch. I've really gotten in the habit of using 1/8 inch. It keeps, for the most part, it keeps it out of your stitches. Not always. And then we're gonna fold that down. Just like this. It really holds that zipper flat. There you go. Don't overdo it though, because you don't want, so that's what you should have. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so repeat that for the other one, and then we'll come back and I'll do that on fast forward. All right, so this is what you should have. And I use some clips. Some of it doesn't really help. But there is my pocket, wrong side up. The zipper is right side up. And now I am gonna sew around this inner seam and trying to keep that seam pretty equal on the side of my zipper tape. Now, this is going to be hidden, so is that number one priority? Probably not. You still want to, though. All right, so let me see what she says for the seam allowance. Yeah, just the top stitch, so it's 1/8. And your lining piece is hanging down here. And that's what you want. Use your zipper foot if you have one. It really does help. Okay. Let's see what we got. That looks actually pretty good. Let me just see how my zipper does. Yeah, Beautiful. All right, so now we're going to pull the lining up to the top and matching our sides of that zipper. The other end of the zipper. And we're just going to baste that in place. These are good size pockets. So I really do like that. Okay, just start, because we're gonna have to turn this to close the sides. So don't start way over, just maybe a ½ inch or so. And just baste that in place. And I'm just using that 1/8 to 1/4 inch. So there you have your zipper pocket. Now we're just going to close up the sides. Remember, this is a bound bag, so there won't be any birthing pockets or any of that. So turn it right side up and close your sides of your pocket. My industrial does not like cotton fabric without interfacing. It barely likes it with, but it tolerated it for that. That's funny. Okay, same thing on the other side. And we're gonna repeat this whole process on the other front side of the pocket. I'm just back stitching over my zipper tape. Okay. And I don't think there's not a lot of zipper left. So I'm gonna maybe burn it a little. I already burned it before I put it on. So it doesn't really need much. Okay, so there you have. That's what it looks like from the back. And this is what it looks like from the top. And you can see it did get a little wavy. I'm not worried about that. It's really hard, honestly, not to get wavy zippers when you don't have any interfacing. I mean, there, it doesn't look too bad. So let's repeat that for the other side. And I'll do that on fast forward. All right, so I forget what she calls this. This is fabric piece C, the zipper cover. So we have 2 of these. These are cotton canvas that was in the box, so I'm not putting any lining on these whatsoever. But these go right here. So raw edges together. And we are gonna sew those in place on both the front and the back. And one of mine's a little longer than it needs to be. That's fine. Okay. So I did press them in half just so I'd have a nice crisp edge. And then we are gonna add our top piece that has the handles. I mean, so far, honestly, this is a great pattern. I just truly wish the materials were nicer. So I think, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's see what the seam allowance is for that. We're just gonna base that in place with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. Make sure your zipper pulls out of the way. I love zipper coverings like this. I think it's just is very classy. A lot of frame. Lots and lots of frame. All right, now we're gonna take one of our handle pieces and we're gonna put that right sides together. Let me see, yeah. And we're gonna sew that at the full seam allowance. So, good job, Sally. You know, I don't think her name is actually Sally. I forget what it is. That's terrible. But she does a great job. Okay, so full seam allowance on this piece. Again, you're gonna have to pay attention to where your zipper pull is. Mine's right there. Just gonna pull it back just a little. You know, sometimes I think I really should, you know, when you get fabrics in a box like this that you don't particularly like, it's always good to have things that are outside of your comfort zone. And that's what these are. These are really outside my comfort zone. Okay, so you know what I didn't do is I didn't sew these, this zipper cover down, so I'm gonna do that. Well, let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Just the yeah. I'm just checking to see where this, when I top stitch this, where this press towards the top. Okay, the mouse is towards the top. Okay. This isn't probably a necessary step. I just want to make sure that when I go to put other things on that it's where I want it to be. Isn't that really is kind of cute. I might have to eat my words. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do, oops, my thing fell in the trash, is we're gonna top stitch with the seam allowance that we just created going towards the top, and we're gonna top stitch on this piece. okay? And you're gonna top stitch over your handles. So it gets kind of thick there. And just go slow. Do you guys make faces when you sew? I sometimes do. Beautiful. Okay. That wasn't too bad. You could eat, honestly, you could easily do this on a domestic machine. Okay. So that's what you have. There's your zipper, your under here, hidden under here, and your top stitching. Oh my gosh. All right, what's next? Okay. I'm gonna put that metal on one side. I'm gonna put this tag that came with the box. I have actually never used one of these handmaids. I'm just gonna put it right here. And it comes with a washer. So I'll install that there. And then on the other side, I'll do fast forward and I'll install my own logo tag on that side. Okay. So I just wanted to show you what I'm doing with my, isn't that cute? Those really are very, very cute. So thank you, Sally. And so I've got that on there, and I put a piece of Decaville Heavy between the fabric and my washer. And now I just have an extra piece of leftover Peltex that I put a piece of double-sided tape on. And I'm gonna cover that. Now, this piece is gonna get foam, so that's probably overkill, but I've never had any issues with doing a little overkill, especially when there's sharp edges involved, which those prongs are a little sharp. So there you go. Isn't that just the cutest little thing? It's on there pretty straight too. I'm amazed. All right, so now I'm gonna do this whole thing on this side. So I'll do that on fast forward. Okay. So the next step is to baste our foam on these pieces. So I have it, and I made mine a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna baste both of those all the way around. Don't baste your handles up, but just at 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, and I'm gonna increase my stitch length. And then I'll cut off the extra. So I'm gonna do that on fast forward. All right, so I got my foam in place. I'm gonna have to look up what kind of foam this is, just so I can make sure that I don't use it on a laptop bag. It's not very thick. Now, is it decent enough for a laptop? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I drew all 4 boxes on my handles. So I'm gonna do those on all 4 handles. And I did it in air erasing, so it'll eventually go away. So I'll do that on fast forward. All right, so our next step is I'm gonna create my handle connectors for my crossbody strap. This is 2 handle connectors in one. I did put a piece of, this is just the cotton canvas. I did put a piece of Peltex in the middle. You know, whether I needed to or not, I just think it needed a little more strength. You're putting a heavy laptop in there. So anyway, just my thought. And then on my gusset, I didn't have enough to do 1 piece, so I had to add 2 pieces together, and I just top stitched on each side. This is actually longer than needed, so I'll have to cut it down. And then I'm gonna baste the foam in place on that. And then my zipper gusset gets 2 of those pieces also get a piece of foam, and I'll have to cut that down. So I'm gonna baste those in place as well. I've never put foam on a zipper gusset, and I am gonna reread the pattern just to make sure that's accurate. Doesn't feel right, but I think it is. The other thing I'm gonna do is on my outside piece, I put my lining wrong sides together. Now, if you have a directional print like I do here, just make sure that it's going up towards the top. And then we're just gonna base that around, because remember, this is a bound bag. So I'm gonna do that on the back and the front. So all this will be on fast forward. There's nothing new about any of this. So I think I'll do this first. Oh, the one thing, just to be sure your handle is down and out of the way. If you need to clip it down here, then feel free to do that, because you don't want that caught up there. Okay? All right, let's fast forward. All right, so I basted, these are my 2 zipper gussets with the foam. Then there are 2 more with no foam, but just woven interfacing. And then I did create my handle connectors for my strap. So I just folded those. It's a this is no secret, 3-inch piece, and I folded them in. So that's the wrong side. And then she tells you the measurement in the pattern to place these. And I just am holding them there with a piece of double-sided tape. And then we will, so I have both of those ready to sew on. Now she has a crisscross. I don't do well with crisscrosses, I just don't. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna do 2 rows of stitches and that'll be sufficient. I'm not putting a rivet here because this is frayed fabric. If this was a piece of the leather, I would. Actually, I'm gonna retract my statement. I'm gonna make a box. A small box. Let's clean my needle. Okay. It never looks good, I don't think. It looks fine, but it's alright. That's as good as it's gonna be. And I'll do that on this side. I don't think my needle is, let me just see. No? Yeah, it's skipping stitches. Weird. I maybe should have used some of this leather. I have enough. I should have. That's all right. It's too late now. And that looks okay. Is it perfect? No. Let's see what this one looks like. Yeah. It's cotton canvas, so you have to be careful burning it as well. All right, so there's those 2 pieces. So that gusset we can set aside for the moment. And now we want to grab our zipper. And we are going to do our zipper on our I gotta read this. Hold on. Okay, I got a little confused because one of her images for this has the handle connectors in it. I'm like, no, I don't think so. All right, so I have my foam piece as the upper side of my zipper gusset. So I've got my zipper face down, right sides together with that. And then I already put my lining sandwiched on top. I didn't baste it, but I'm gonna go ahead and sew that at the seam allowance in the pattern. And I did put a lot of clips on here. I have never, ever used foam for a zipper gusset. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm doing it. Okay, interesting. And my zipper pulls off the end there, so it's not in the way. You could leave it off if you wanted to. There's some interesting things about this pattern, I have to say. Not bad, really. Ah, poopy. I ran out of bobbin. Wow, I'm kind of surprised I ran out of bobbin. That was a full bobbin when we started. Interesting. I think what it is, it's text 70. Text 70 doesn't last as long. It's okay. I had one ready. You'll have to let me know if you guys have ever used foam on your zipper gussets. I just have never done it. I don't believe I've ever done a pattern that called for it either. All right, so now we're gonna just top stitch around that. I'm just gonna flip these together. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Just never done it. You know, maybe it's because this is a laptop bag and she's trying to give plenty of cushion. I just thought of that. I was just thinking, why would she do it? And I bet it's because it's a laptop bag and she wants the laptop to have cushion all the way around. I bet that's it. Now that's smart. Very smart. Okay, let's top stitch this, and now I'm going to baste all the way around it. I on this side. Okay, I'm going to finish basting that, and then we're going to do the exact same thing for the other side of the zipper, and I'll do that on fast forward. All right, so now we're going to do the gusset. And I just am noticing a bunch of little hairs. So I've got my exterior gusset and I've got my zipper gusset right sides together. And I'm just going to sew those on at the seam allowance in the pattern, which I better just double check. Yeah. The other thing you want to do, and she does mention this in the pattern, is just make sure that your gussets, your zipper gusset and the gusset for the bottom are the same size, which mine are. Okay. So that's what you, well, I should say they're not quite the same size, almost. Pretty good. All right, so now take your lining gusset and we're gonna put that right sides together with our zipper, and we're gonna sew that in place. And I should have probably basted the other one, but that's okay. Okay. Beautiful. I'm just checking to make sure. Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing on this other side. I'm gonna pull my zipper in and I'm gonna put my D-ring down and I'm gonna line up these two. And I have extra zipper, which I'll clip off here in a minute. Oh my goodness. You've heard me say it before. I really don't like sewing with cotton. It's just too free. This time I'm just gonna baste that in place. And if your zipper is separating, just hold it together. And then we're gonna pull our lining and attach that on this end and do our full seam allowance. Okay, just making sure everything's out of the way. Okay, I'm going to clip off my extra zipper and then I will burn that. And then, and if you've done any kind of bag making, you've probably done this before. Now we're just gonna baste all of this together that we just sewed on. After we do a top stitch right here. I'm just gonna clip this together on both sides. So clip that together all the way around and then do a 1/4 inch top stitch right there. And I'm gonna have to get my leather marking tool off of there. And then we will be marking the centers. This should really fit pretty good. Most of the time when I do these patterns like this, if you maintain their seam allowances in the pattern, your seam allowances really, this gusset piece fits pretty good. And I would highly recommend using interfacing for the lining gusset. She doesn't, and I would highly recommend it. Just my 2 cents. Okay, so first I'm going to top stitch here, 1/4 inch seam allowance. Show your D-rings out of the way. And on the other side, actually I'm going to do it from this side. Okay. All right, now I'm going to fast forward and just baste just this part on. The zipper's already basted in place, just this part. All right, so that's your gusset completed. If you don't catch the lining, just go over it again. You've got a decent seam allowance when you put this on, so you should be okay. You should be all right. All right, so that's done, and the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some curves to our piece, all four sides of our pieces, our outside pieces. So she gives you a little template, and just mark your pieces, and we're going to cut that off. It's very slight. In fact, I'm not going to even use that. I'm going to use my mug. It's the same thing, but it's easier to use than a piece of paper. So I'm going to do that on all 8. There's 8 corners to do. So top and bottom. Now, I will tell you, by doing this, you're probably cutting into your basting stitches, which is probably okay. Oh man, I can't, yeah, there it is. But if you feel you need to just go back over them a little bit here. In fact, I probably will once I get these others done. So do that on the other side. And then we're ready to attach our gussets. After we do centers here and here on both these pieces, and I already marked my center here. So put your 2 pieces together like this and mark your centers here and here. And then if you don't have a center point here, mark your center points here and here. Okay. So I'm going to do the rest of this on fast forward because I am gonna rebaste some of this. Okay, so take your zipper and right sides together, and I want my bag to unzip like this. So I'm doing it with the zipper on the left. You can do whatever makes works for you, makes you happy. And I am just gonna go and clip these all the way around. And I'm gonna do, just like we do a lot of other gusset bags, you want to do your centers first. Let me see if I can find my centers. On all 4 edges. And then do your gusset, your little curves. Okay, so I'll do that on fast forward. Okay, I think I made a boo-boo and didn't tell you to do something with the centers. Ooh. So, yeah, we have to do our center. So you need to mark these centers, and I just clip them on both sides here. And then you got to mark your side centers, and that's what this is. So, yeah, otherwise you don't have a side center. So I'll show you a little more detailed here in a second. Okay, so the center of my bottom with the center that I did have marked of my zipper, okay? Then these end up being your side centers. So let's try that again. Okay. Right sides together. And then I'm gonna do the bottom. Where's my center? Okay, and now I'm gonna do my sides. Oh man, I marked that, I know I did, but you can't even see it. That's some bad stuff, Barb. Yeah, there it is. You just can't see it. I'll just make sure that's it. Yeah, okay. I didn't want to do too big of a center there. Okay. Here we go. Perfect. Now let's do this other side. Make sure I marked it. Oh my goodness. I was trying to be very careful, and I didn't do a very good job. Okay, there we go. Now, if you have to clip your corners, you can certainly do that. Just be, only do them, clip them about 1/8 of an inch. So there, that's what you should have so far. So now I'm just gonna finish clipping that all the way around, and then I'll sew it with the seam allowance in the pattern. All right, so this is what you should have. The one thing I will tell you, this fit really, really well, so you shouldn't have to do any clipping if you follow the seam allowances. But on the corners, just kind of create a little bowl there, and it will fit just fine. Okay? And you know me, use as many or as few clips as you need to. On the curves, I use 10s. All right, so I'm gonna sew that. Let me just double check the seam allowance. I'm pretty sure it's just a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but let me look. Yeah, it's just a 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, so let's do that on fast forward. Okay, that really was not too bad. I didn't have to clip anything. I just went slow. And that looks really good. Even my corners look really good. You did notice that I did open my zipper as I went around. that helped actually quite a bit. Oh my gosh. You know, before I sew on my other piece, I meant to add a little sewing blurb in here. So I'm just gonna do that really quick, close to the top. Trying to use those as much as I can. I did cancel it, but I'm getting one more subscription today, I think, that I already had paid for. All right, so I'm just gonna clean that up a little so I don't have not a lot. And I'll do my centers. I marked my center there, and I did it here, but you can't really tell. Let me make it bigger. That one, and that one. Okay, I'll do that one on fast forward. Oh, here, let me show you. So turn it wrong side out again. Undo your zipper. And we're gonna do the exact same thing. Make sure your handles are down and out of the way. So I'm gonna match my center at the top, and again, tons of clips all the way around. And if you need to, use staples. I don't think you'll need to, but there's no harm in using staples. And then you'll just have to take them out. Okay, let's do the bottom. And then I'll do my sides. And see how it looks. This would be, I'm just thinking, because I really like the pattern. I don't particularly enjoy these materials, but that's okay. Okay, that's perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go offline and clip, because this takes a while to do all this clipping. But I was gonna say, I'm already thinking about what materials I'm gonna use, and I think I'm gonna do cork. I think cork with a heavier foam would be perfect. So we'll see. I'll be right back. Okay, I have to undo my zipper. I don't know if you noticed what I was doing. I always sew, typically, I shouldn't say I always, because that's probably not true. Sew from the gusset side, and I always put my clips on like this. So this flat part is on the bed of my sewing machine. I know a lot of people don't do it that way. I think it makes a big difference myself. So you do you, but I think it makes a big difference. All right, I'll do this on fast forward. Okay, that really wasn't too bad, honestly. I will go ahead and just trim all my edges just to make sure they're the same size. And then she tells you to do bias tape from, in this pattern from the box. She has you do bias tape. I am not going to do that. I'm going to get some waterproof canvas that goes with this and cut that into 1-inch pieces and use that instead, because all this fraying, I mean, you know, the way she has you do it on the bias, you know, it would cover all the fraying, but I'm not going to take the time to do that. I'd rather just use waterproof canvas. So I will go get that cut, and then we'll come back and we'll finish the bag. All right, I decided to do this cream waterproof canvas. So I am just going to put it on, and I do try and clip it most of the way around. And then I will sew that on, and then I'll repeat it on the other side. So I'll do that on fast forward. All right, so my pieces didn't go all the way around. So here I just cut a piece and added it, and you'll never even be able to tell. But you always want to start on the bottom in case something like that happens. But I folded them in so you won't see the raw edges. All right, so I'm going to sew around that at about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little more. All right, so there is the bag all bound on the inside. It really was not too bad. All right, so I'm just gonna turn it right side out. And it shouldn't be hard to turn. And the binding really does give bags structure. So if you haven't tried binding a bag, I would try. I would give it a try. Because if you take your time and you just go slow, it really isn't too bad. All right, let's see what we got. I got some clipping to do here. I don't know if this will fit my laptop or not. I'll have to go see. So there you have it. And you've got a zipper under here the whole way of the bag. You've got another zipper over here the whole length of the bag. There are no pockets on the inside, but you don't really need them. Okay, and I did go ahead and make my, I would use seatbelt webbing next time. This stuff is, I'm gonna have to put some fray check on it. It frays very easily. I wouldn't use it again. And then I would, so I put my slide adjuster on, and there you have it. Cute, cute, cute. I really like the pattern. So look how big that is in there. It's huge. I could put my laptop in it and see if my, get my husband to take a short video. All right. Hi, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs, and this is the laptop bag that we're making today from the Sally Tomato and Oakley Roots mystery box. I love the pattern. I absolutely love the pattern. A couple things I would change is I would use seatbelt webbing for your crossbody strap. You have a full zipper pocket on the front. You have a full zipper pocket on the back. It's kind of hidden, which I like this pattern. And my laptop is pretty good size. It's 14 inches across by 10 inches, and it's pretty heavy. So it fits in there just easily, very easily. So there's the inside. It is a bound bag. No zipper pockets or slip pockets on the inside. But there you go. I would definitely get the pattern. I plan to do more. It's a very cute bag. So go try it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.